You're driving home alone. The woods press in on both sides of the highway. Suddenly, the radio drops into dead static, and the air conditioning feels like it just plunged 10 degrees. Then, the headlights catch something, a silhouette standing directly in your lane. Other drivers report picking up hitchhikers who quietly slide into the back seat, only to vanish completely a few miles down the road, leaving the doors locked and the windows rolled up. This is Central Florida's Interstate 4, specifically a notoriously lethal stretch that locals call the dead zone. Millions of commuters navigate this exact route every year without incident, brushing off these terrifying stories as simple highway hypnosis or driver fatigue. But to understand why this specific corridor claims so many laws, we have to look past the modern folklore and dig into the actual dirt paved beneath the asphalt. Decades before the interstate system connected the state, Central Florida was mostly remote pine scrub and small settlements. According to local records and stubborn oral history, the exact path charted for the new highway cuts straight through an unmarked cemetery used by those early pioneers. Instead of relocating the remains, engineers authorized crews to pour concrete foundations directly over the gravesites. That single decision triggered immediate backlash. Locals whispered that desecrating the burial ground tainted the soil itself. Before the very first lane was even painted, the expectation of tragedy was already hardwired into the regional consciousness. By paving over the cemetery, the project guaranteed that every future accident would be viewed through the lens of a restless past. The public wasn't just watching the road, they were waiting for it to strike back. And disaster arrived quickly. From the moment it opened, this specific stretch produced an alarming volume of severe, twisting collisions. Patrol officers were frequently dispatched to scenes where drivers had inexplicably swerved into ditches or lost control on perfectly clear, dry afternoons, often leaving investigators grasping for logical explanations. Today, that danger is amplified by pure volume. We are looking at a compressed corridor forcing heavy commercial semi-trucks to mix with tens of thousands of speeding passenger vehicles. This animated schematic shows a geometric design flaw in the highway's construction. When a severe curve lacks the proper banking angle, meaning the road isn't tilted enough to counter centrifugal force, a vehicle's trajectory is physically forced outward, leaving a terrifyingly small margin for error. It is this brutal math of outdated highway engineering and massive daily traffic scale that manufactures the high body count, rather than vengeful spirits. But what happens in the mind of a commuter who is actively battling those treacherous highway curves at night, while acutely aware of the burial ground beneath their tires? This flowchart shows how the brain bridges a simple hazard and an urban legend. Expecting a threat, our minds work overtime to find one. Under this framework, a normal glitch, like dropped signals or radio static, instantly takes on a much darker significance. A driver, mentally exhausted from dodging heady highway traffic, sees their headlights sweep past an ordinary tree trunk. Their stressed brain processes that ambiguous shape as a tall figure stepping into the road, causing them to slam on the brakes. The myth survives and thrives because the literal, physical dangers of the highway consistently deliver the exact adrenaline spikes that drivers expect from a haunted road. The dead zone exists at the friction point where the memory of a desecrated past rubs against the physical flaws of the present. We prefer to assign a narrative to chaos. Blaming a curse for senseless highway fatalities offers a strange kind of sociological comfort, because a haunting makes more sense to us than the cold, random reality of a high-speed collision. Yet, whether you attribute the danger to disturbed pioneers or mathematically flawed curves, the lethal threat to your life remains exactly the same. When navigating I-4 after midnight, pay close attention to the shadows on the shoulder, but remember that the true danger is the very surface you are skimming across at 70 miles per hour. America's most haunted places are often just heavy monuments to the structures we failed to build safely.